Yeah, that was good to you, Jude. You are a brand consultant, and the National Assembly has been branded as the highest paid, or the senators and the legislatures, they have been branded as the highest paid in the world. And I hear that you guys have all said you don't know what the figure is that they receive. So where do we get this judgment from, that they are the highest paid? Is it a projection? Is it an assumption? Or are there facts to show that they are the highest paid?
Well, we have to go back to where this whole started. I think it was the economists of London that kind of blew the lead on the fact that they are not the highest paid in the world. I think, according to the economists, they are the third highest paid after Australia and the US, I think, or thereabouts. So we are saying, we are looking at, sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, I'm saying, how do we get to the conclusion that they are the highest paid?
Okay.
What the figures are.
Yeah, which will help, which is why our NAS started. We wanted a situation where the National Assembly, we, beginning from the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, will bring those figures to Nigerians. These people are supposed to be the representatives of the people. They were elected in different constituencies. And this is Nigerians saying, okay, look, we elected you into parliament. If that's what we should believe. Now you're earning so amounts. To stop this speculation, please, can you give us a breakdown of how much you earn per month, per quarter, or whatever it is? Now, if the figures being thrown around everywhere are not really the right figures, it would be nice to know from the people we elected to represent us in Abuja, or wherever it is they are sitting, to let us know that this is how much we earn. But at this time, as we speak now, nobody knows the figures. They are not coming forth with the figures, which shows that they have so much to hide.
Is this only an Abuja problem? Because I know that when I was talking about earlier about, returns to your godfather or whatever it is, someone sponsored you for an election and you have to remit some sort of funds at the end of the day. Is it only an Abuja problem? Do state legislatures have this problem as well? Do councillors and local governments also get this sort of jumbo pays without necessarily facts to back or figures?
Yeah. The National Assembly became a statutory organ, and so its breakdown just went missing. You can't say it. And the constitutional review process which we are right now, the state assemblies have also been canvassing seriously. It's something coming to something like HASU would do, like a serious union. Like they also want to become a statutory organ of their states. So it's the same old way it's done at the national level is being done in the states, where the executive is one almost determine what they get as budget. Now they just want to get the statutory amount, which will come to them straight. And the problem really is for the state level, the budgets are not really that open. They're not really that available. From what you can see again available, they also take a very sizable chunk of what it comes down to them. And you can't even still see that breakdown as you would love to see of what is the detailed spending for, for example, Office of the Speaker, for example, what are the basic allowances, what are the overheads in that space. So I think it's this is just like a first point. It's a long road, because it means that we just have a National Assembly, to me, which should be the gold standard. The gold standard because you're the one calling for probes, calling for committees, calling for public hearings, asking people to come down with transparency, come down with comprehensive reports of how they expend public resources. You also should be the first person to say, this is how I am doing. We must, equity must come with clean hands. So it's a question of start first from home. Let's see your own expenses. Be more open with it before you can even start calling up people to say, come and explain to us. So I think it starts with them. It's a problem that cuts across. It's an incentive problem, and that's why you see a lot of people going into politics. Becoming a very lucrative business to see. Because if 150 billion naira, just look at it in this context. ASU presently wants 87 billion naira for end allowances. Federal government says take 30 billion naira. That 57 billion naira, the ASU would still need to even meet the minimal demands of ASU. We don't even start talking about the infrastructural spending. Now, the entire Nigerian university, 37 federal universities, get 199 billion naira in 2013 budget. National Assembly, as a single institution, gets 150 billion naira. Meaning even what National Assembly gets in a year, a university will not get it in 10 years. So it's in that context you understand that the funds are huge. Like the judiciary is an example also. The judiciary has a Supreme Court, 24 high courts, 17 courts of appeal divisions, and gets 67 billion naira in the budget. They have National Assembly, Just a place I see in Abuja, and they have agencies, like 2 agencies attached to them, and they get 150 billion. So you must need to ask the questions from that perspective. Why this huge amount of money? Okay, if this amount has to be huge, justify it to me by showing me the breakdown. You know, that's really that context in your question, because we have so much competing demands within the Nigerian nation space. We have where close to 20% of your budget goes to security. You know, over $1 trillion goes to security in Nigeria. You have defense, when you have interior ministry, when you have to add police, it goes to that. You have a sizable chunk coming to education and health. You have a size also coming to debt service. Also the big size also coming to pensions. By the time you take away the recurrent part, you have very, very few to build roads, to build bridges, to do things that matter most to the common citizen. So for every place you can get some savings in cost of running governance, you could ask questions about that basically. And to me, I think the National Assembly is where we should even start from and say, let's cut some slack.
One thing that we've been accused of as young people a lot by the government is the fact that we like to protest in fanciful ways. They accuse us when the Occupy Nigeria thing happened that we're having a concert as against a proper protest. And I say that because, I mean, when you were talking about the highest paid legislature, I think Kenya actually does come to mind, because I think they're up there as well. And I saw there was a protest sometime this year where they brought pigs and they poured blood, and it was really, really violent. I mean, the whole world paid attention. Do you think we're protesting in the right way? Do you think they're taking us seriously?
Well, if they're not taking us seriously right now, I'm sure they will eventually. Like I said, when the fuel subsidy thing started, it began like a joke. And for a week, Nigeria was more or less shut down. And they had this long-running discussion that lasted about 2 months, where they had to now talk about everything that happening in the oil sector. I'm not really concerned about whether things are going to change tomorrow, because, well, they won't. But what my concern is that we keep letting these people know that we are going to begin to ask all of them down the line. We're going to ask the presidency, the federal legislatures, the governors. We're going to ask them what they are doing with what they've been entrusted to do. And the questions will continue. Nigerian youths are actually very... I know that the way the protests were planned, they were planned not to be overly dramatic. The idea is not to be dramatic. The idea is to get people's attention and get results at the end of it. So that's how we do here. In Kenya, they are more dramatic, they are more symbolic and all of that. But it doesn't work like that everywhere.